citizens rather than slaves. It's a hassle. And someone like Kamala Harris, well, she wasn't capable of explaining what she thought or why. She wasn't capable of making an argument. And by the way, I'm not attacking her. I always felt sorry for her. I did. No, I mean it. I never attacked Kamala. I'd make fun of Kamala Harris, in a kind of gentle, compassionate way. But she was a bystander to her own life. She never made a meaningful decision. She wasn't at fault for anything. She had no clue what was going on. She was just white-knuckling it through the day. The second the Xanax started to wear off, she'd be like, I got to get out of here. She was chosen from like a sort of national contest, like the way they used to choose, like the kids on the baby food boxes or whatever. We need someone who looks like this, will say the following things. Oh, there she is. Let's make her Attorney General of California and then Vice President. It's like that's how it happened. She never had a role in it at all. So I'm not going to attack her. But the people who chose her and put her up to it, and her senile boss, who, by the way, was senile when he became president in 2020, the people who pulled that caper off and kept it from everybody for 4 years, those people are mad because they don't want to explain why they're doing what they're doing because they can't justify it. It's unjustifiable. I had this problem for many years as someone whose job it was to ask people to explain themselves. They just wouldn't come. They would not come. It's like, we're not talking to you, racist. Okay. And I would always say, whatever. I would always say, just to rattle them, I said this 3 different times to the New York Times. They never printed it. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. They'd be like, you're racist. They'd be like, actually, I'm not. And if I was, I would say so. Actually, I'm a sexist. Which I thought was hilarious. I thought that was like the funniest line ever. It was on the record. They not one time printed it. And I always thought, if I was interviewing someone who's like, no, I'm actually a sexist, I'd be like, wow, that's a headline. They never ran that. Because they didn't care. They didn't care if I was a racist or a sexist or a Martian or a transcendental meditation enthusiast. It didn't matter. None of it mattered. The point was, shut up. Shut up. And if you don't shut up, it drives them completely bonkers because they have no plan B. If you don't shut up, they have to explain themselves and justify, like, was Hunter Biden like a energy expert? How much did he know about natural gas? Like, what was that? And Joe Biden, how did you get a credit card company to pay for your house? Shut up, racist! There are just a lot of unanswerable questions. Why do we have biolabs in Ukraine? That's kind of weird, right? Of all the nations of the world, if you're looking for people to run biolabs and do gene editing, would you pick Ukraine, the poorest and most corrupt country in Europe? I don't think so. You'd probably go to Geneva, wouldn't you? Or Liechtenstein? I think I would. You go to Ukraine? What is that? Shut up, racist! I still don't know the answer, though I have some guesses. But the point is, it's a massive threat when the population decides not to shut up and just politely insist on answers. And so at that point, you're stuck with very few options because you can't answer the question. And anyone who's been a teenager knows the feeling of being cross-examined by, a grouchy parent. Like, what is the answer? The whole front of the car is stoved in, like, how'd that happen? You don't really have an answer, right? So what are they going to do about it? Well, they have about a month. And I don't want to make anybody paranoid, but I don't think you can overstate how profound this is. It's not even about Donald Trump. Oh, it is about Donald Trump, of course, and his policies and the people he's going to appoint, but it's bigger than that. It's about a population that feels free to demand answers from people who've effectively been oppressing them for decades. And they're afraid. Now, by the way, I think certain people should be afraid. I think Tony Fauci